Is it better to invest in stocks or real estate? In this video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons. At the end, I'm going to tell you something that will shock you and how I do it. The three things we're going to talk about is, do you invest in both? The pros, the cons, like how do you really evaluate that? And then I'm going to give you some alternatives, some direct links to alternatives that can minimize risk across all of it. So let's begin. The pros and cons of real estate versus the stock market. Well, I got to take my huge bet to the stock market because it's an emotional arbitrage, right? And if you really know how deals get done, you got market makers, you got, stock influencers, you got a lot going on. So I'm not going to say no yet. I'll come back to that, but I want to talk about real estate. I'm a real estate millionaire. I'm a gas and oil millionaire. Did in both industries, 1999. Crushed it. Still, since 1996, I've been paid on a well that still pays me today. How about that? Yeah, and this recording, just so if you're ever watching it, is in 2021. That's how long a well can pay you. Huge fan. You could own the stock, like you could own, I worked at Chevron, I still have some Chevron stock. You could own the stock or you could own the well and all the tax benefits. So let's dig in a little bit more. So real estate, what are the pros and cons? Well, I love the alternatives because you do get the depreciation schedule, you get the tax advantages, and you own direct. I've been a fan of what's called direct participation programs since I was even introduced to investing in the 90s. So real estate, you can buy, right? A REIT, you can go on the internet, you go to the stock market, and for a couple $100, you can get into a real estate investment trust. That's what that's called. You can also go do what's called equity crowdfunding, where you can go into an equity crowdfunding position and put in some money into what's called a Reg A offering. All right, so those are ways that you can just very passively put some money to work. The REIT's liquid, the Reg A's typically not liquid. So why do I want to own direct? Well, I want the tax advantages. So if you look at making a lot of money, you got to say, well, how do I do the deductions? So clearly, as an entity, you get 81,000 pages of tax code. But in real estate, you get massive depreciation schedules. This isn't about gas and oil, but in gas and oil, you get the most depreciation schedules. So what are the pros and cons of actually doing real estate? Well, first of all, I highly doubt you're going to do single family homes. And I know people who are doing it, and 20, 30 years later, they have 20 or 30 single family houses and they rent them, and they have the traditional model that, the people in the infomercials in the 80s used to teach you. So it's a very slow go. You've got, loans, you've got hard money lending. Interesting way to do it. I did my real estate millionaire in 6 months. And subsequent to then, right, I did 2 industries in 1 year. I've gone on to do 8 industries in millionaire status, right? So after those 2, obviously became an author publisher, did it in the publishing space, did it in the speak to sell space. So yes, those are different. Those are 2 different millionaire statuses. During that time, I got into recycled glass and recycled company, made millions in there. Did a supplement. Yep, nutraceuticals, did nutraceutical industry. Was amazing and super fun. So I'm going to break down, next asset class is really in development. You say, well, that's in real estate. It's very distinctively different in developing of real estate, and then also hard money lending. Just being a lender has created just a millionaire status in those categories. So my question to you is, how many industries do you want to be a millionaire in? And you can search my YouTube channel because we're going to be talking more and more about MSIs, multiple streams of industries. How many are you going to make in your lifetime? I've got a few more that I'm going to be doing. I'm not done yet. So why real estate? It's just the heart and soul of every balance sheet of a millionaire. I don't know hardly anyone besides a few digital currency traders recently that are millionaires that don't have real estate in their portfolio because of the depreciation schedules. The pros are enormous. So in addition to the tax strategies, it's fairly easy to understand. I love when real estate investors go into fix and flip, or they start with a duplex, triplex, or a fourplex, something really simple where they can either fix, flips, refinance, pull money, still get cash flow. It's in some ways inflation proof. If you're the landlord, I can promise you I won't inflation proof your rent. I'm going to keep racketing it up just as fast as inflation's going up. You'll say, well, you're a great landlord. I'm going to teach you landlord strategies that they're beneficial for everyone. They work. And most of all, you got to own, and it's generational. And debt's just the cost of money. You can leverage it for a long time. I'm not a huge fan of pay it all off and then pay the next one off and pay the next one off. Why wouldn't you keep all of your real estate leveraged when you can get interest rates at the rates you can right now? And then you use the additional money to either go into other asset classes, or again, let's talk about the stock market. You can put it over the stock market. So what are the cons of real estate? Those are the pros, the cons, right? It's not liquid. You're not going to go buy it and say, oh, tomorrow I want to get out. You've closed the property, you own the property, you need to do the cycle of the real estate. For a lot of you, it's going to be more work. You're actually going to have to engage and you have to do more work. Unless you stay on the deal structure and the money side, you're the one in the streets, finding the property, rehabbing the property, doing the subs, doing the crews. It's more work. For some of you, you want that to be your business. It's a great transition out of a traditional job to be in the business of real estate. Before we leave real estate though, I've got to tell you a few stories because the way I do it is a little different than most of you have been taught. You go to a guru and you learn one thing or you learn a few strategies, but you don't learn how to really monetize the whole. So I was taught early on, 1999, flew to Oklahoma, met a 20-year advanced team, which I will be that to you right now as your mentor and your team. And we did it all. Like from the deal structure, we made money there. We made money on the distribution. We were manufacturers reps. We actually did the transaction. Typically somebody on the team was the broker. So you put, 3 to 6 points back in your own pocket. Then you go further out. You are the cleaning company. You are the staging company. You are the property management company. You're the haul away the junk company. When 2008, 9, 10 happened, real estate wasn't happening, but I'll tell you, our junk companies of hauling junk away, of people who just abandoned homes on foreclosures, we were still making money. So when you capture all the fees inside the market, it works. I'm going to introduce you to a blueprint of how I became a millionaire. Inside of there, you're going to learn specifically from one partner who actually was a client when he first came to me, lost everything in probate. So we'll talk to him about how to get your deal structure immediately done and proper. But what Justin did is similar. He started in flooring, then went to construction, then became a broker, and then became a property manager. So very similar. You spread yourself out to own a little bit of all the companies that you're going to hire. Why? Send your money out to someone else. Very few people teach that comprehensive view of owning inside of a real estate market. I can tell you, it will put millions in your pocket over time. So yes, you can do the single family, 10, 20 years later, and you might have 20 or 30 homes. Or you just go for it a little bit differently and consolidate. So as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of real estate, huge pros to real estate. Let's talk about the stock market. What is the pro? So the pro of the stock market is the liquidity. You can be in, 2 minutes later, you can change your mind, you can sell. Right? And you can do Robinhood and emotionally arbitrage and, think you're going to just come in and out of some stocks out there. The problem is there's no downside protection. That's the risk. And knowing how IPOs happen and how the market makers make the stock price happen, you and your house have very little control. Now, all that being said, the gentleman who I'm co-writing my Make Your Kids Millionaires book is a very excellent trader. So if you're one of those people who are immersed and wake up at the market, you go to sleep at the market, you have short-term and long-term strategies, then you should stay and do what you're doing. But even those folks also do real estate and do a version of the stock market that I'm in. And it's called iFlip. Now, if you actually search on my channel, I have a lot of videos about iFlip. And why? It's algorithm that is AI driven through software. The gentleman who wrote the programs is world class, right? He was at Stanford's physics program at 16 years old and has advanced degrees in math, statistics, finance, and economics. So you take a basket of stocks, right? Say they're tech stocks, and you can put money in. The algorithms and software will invest it for you. Here's the good news. If it gets too volatile, it pulls you back out. So in March 2020, when the stock levels hit sub 1929, lowest we've ever seen, I only lost 2.8% by using that software because I am not a get up with the market and go to bed with the market. I'm not going to do that, but I do enjoy being in the markets for many reasons. But I love the software that pulled me out. Most of the market in the world, most people lost 33%. So in the description below, I have a link to an iFlip free app. I want you to go check it out. I want you to get one for your kids. I want you to go get Roth IRAs with them, and I want your kids to get another flip account. Most of our kids in our community have a cash account and a Roth flip account, and you can put your money into the market. And the behavior of being able to put in for kids 50 to 100, as an adult 500 to thousands a month is a great place to start. So I've sent you to a few videos. I really want you to subscribe to my channel. So click on the link below, hit the notification button every day, 5 days a week. I'm gonna get up with you, with the video, and give you some education on financial literacy. It's how you should start your revenue producing day, right? So you wake up, I give you some content, and you think about what am I gonna do all day around money. So make sure you do that and share with other people. If you want your friends and family to get educated, you got to all be listening to the same channel. So how I do it, I do both. Here's what I would say though, if you want to do both, and this is really the answer. you do both. So as you accumulate and flip, when you get to 25 and 50,000, that's a viable number that then you can withdraw and go do a real estate transaction. Continue to put your money in flip. I call it a wealth account. It's a place to put your money so it's not sitting in cash. And yes, that includes your traditional savings accounts and rainy day accounts. Why should you have any cash sitting around? You put it in flip, it is liquid, you have it making money. You have it build and accumulate in $25,000 to $50,000 chunks. You can take and go do some real estate, and there is the wealth cycle that we teach. So I'm a fan of both. Wasn't a fan of the market until iFlip came into our life. So I'm giving you a free app. I am an owner. I love it. All of my clients are on it. All of our pro bono student athletes are on it. It's just a safe way, unless you are like my partner Kyle in the book, where you're going to get up and go to bed with the market and know how to really trade. Most of you aren't. So it's a great app and a great software. So at the end, I have, again, the software. It's a free app. I want to give you the opportunity to get that. Just as important, I'm going to say bigger, I'm giving you a blueprint on how I became a real estate millionaire. So it's a Millionaire-Maker Blueprint. You're going to click on the link. It's an amazing recording of me and some of my success stories. Students who become millionaires and multimillionaires in real estate. And yes, they use the Flip app too. In addition to that, there is an application at the end, and I need you to fill it out. Like, why do you qualify to work with me? We have a lot of people who want to work. I want serious people. We have a time window right now in this economy, in this government opportunity for funding. You could be a millionaire in 12, 18, or 24 months. If that's something that's critical for you, listen to the blueprint, fill out the app. I'll talk to you on the other side.